Okay, I gotta get this video out the way before my Lakers take this championship. The myth of black on black violence. This is the title of an article that I read on theroot.com, written by Mrs. Natalie Hopkinson. So please, you guys, read the article. Not too long. You know, I've told you guys about this website before, and I often go to this website to, you know, get ideas in terms of what I can speak about. Now, in her article, she makes some good points, but once again, she pulls the typical, what's the word I'm looking for? Shapeshifter. Okay, you know, it's funny when you have black people who are addressing a black audience, they'll talk about accountability. You need to do better. You need to try harder. Step your game up, right? But then the second there's some non-black people who are making their critiques, what happens? All of a sudden, how dare you? It's not us. You know, it's racism. It's discrimination. You know, we don't have good schooling. We don't have proper health care. But once it's a black audience, all of a sudden, y'all just have to step up. You know, pull your pants up. Stop trying to be a rapper. Close your legs, you know. So there's a switch. And when in reality, I'm not saying that one is right and one is wrong. It's a combination of both. So literally, yeah, it is about discrimination and, you know, the lack of proper funding to certain segments that just so happen to be black people, okay, in terms of lower income, poverty-stricken environments. But then part of it is with the culture. Okay, you know, it's a culture that we promote. It's as simple as that, right? So there's people, black people in the black community who are doing poorly, yeah, because of the fact that, you know, they don't have good schooling and, you know, the government or whoever isn't necessarily holding up their end of the bargain. But then there's black people who are just doing poorly because they've chose to follow a culture or they've been raised in a culture, okay, that's about the bullshit. Like I said before, you know it's cultural because I've seen black people act out of pocket who did not grow up in lower income, poverty-stricken environments, okay? You know, go to any middle class black neighborhood or upper class and you're going to see black men and women still act out of pocket. Why the hell are you acting out of pocket? You have good schooling. You have proper health care. Mommy and daddy are there. Why are you acting up? It's part of the culture. It's as simple as that, okay? But, you know, in her article, if you read it, you know, she's talking about how it's not necessarily fair for people to attribute what's going on in lower income black communities to black culture. And I understand where she's coming from, but like I said before, she's turning it into a either or argument. She's polarizing the argument, and it's a lose for her. You can't do that. Right? It's just not going to work that way because, you know, if I sat down and talked to you personally, we would be talking about how, yeah, you know, black people just need to step their game up and stop doing X, Y, and Z, right? And we know that's the truth. But you can't come on and all of a sudden become the great defender when it's, you know, a non-black person making some sort of critique, okay? You just can't. So hopefully you guys read the article so you understand what I'm trying to say and what she's trying to communicate. You know, I'm not trying to knock what she's trying to say. What she has to say has some merit, definitely. Okay, it's funny because there are a lot of lower income, poverty-stricken communities across the world. So a lot of the bullshit that goes on is universal. You know, if you took lower income, poverty-stricken black people and replace them, let's say, I don't know, with, you know, Asian people, they're probably going to have the same problems in terms of the results of not having certain resources. Right? So you're going to see, you know, Asian men act like black men in terms of the thug culture and, you know, black women acting out of pocket and doing whatever. Right? That's undebatable. And like I said before, you can actually see this. Go ahead and go to any third world country or any country, okay, any developed country or nation across the globe, and there's always going to be lower income, poverty-stricken environments where a lot of crime, prostitution, poor education, poor health care, children out of wedlock, that's all going to be going on. right? And it's a result of not necessarily having adequate resources. So to come on and say that, oh, you know, it's just the way black people are, it is unfair, but honestly, part of it is true. It is true. We are the only culture that has decided to, what's the word I'm looking for? Take negative aspects that are due to poor resources and turn it into the culture. Okay, yeah, this is how we are. This is how we're supposed to be, and we perpetuate that sort of belief. We do. It's as simple as that. You know, this is how things are. Black people are supposed to be this way. Black people are supposed to act tough. Yeah, you know, there's black men killing other black men because they're competing for resources. You know, they're competing for control over a block. They're competing for something. Okay, but then there's black men killing each other because, quite frankly, they listened to a couple of rap songs, saw some videos, and, you know, decided that this is how this is supposed to be. This is how I'm supposed to act. This is what I'm supposed to do. So is it about poor schooling? Is it about inadequate health care? No. They have been raised in a culture where they believe this is what they're supposed to do. And like I said before, go ahead and go to environments where there's black people, but they do have proper schooling and adequate health care, and you're going to see some of the same bullshit. And where does that come from? It comes from the culture, right? So anyways, you know, hopefully you guys get to read the article. You know, it's very interesting, but then very frustrating at the same time. You know, the problem with the black community and those who try to help is we don't want to say the truth, the complete truth, okay? And we always want to cater it to the audience. But for me, I'm past all that. I don't care who's listening. I'm going to say how I feel, okay? And most of the time, it's never A or B. That's the problem. You know, there's a whole bunch of problems going on, right? And I think the author would have had a better article if she would just acknowledge that it's a little bit of both. And, you know, I know for pretty much for certain, if I sat down with Miss Natalie Hopkinson and we had a discussion, you know, we would talk about how black people need to do better, how black people need to step up, yada, 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 right? And we would talk about how a lot of the problems that are going on in black inner cities and lower income environments are due to our belief systems and what we do to ourselves, as opposed to, you know, discrimination and being held out a certain things in the American society, right? So anyways, that's my video. Hopefully you guys get a chance to read the article and let me know what you think and how you feel. Take it easy. God bless.